I grew up in the Alps where sediments and the calcium rocks showed marine fossils that were trapped there millions of years ago. The tectonic plates lifted up, and today you can see it, like a message in a bottle stranded for millions of years, offering us a glimpse into the Earth's history. That sense of time, knowledge, and wonder is captivating. In the attic of our home, my grandfather ran a photo lab and atelier, and I grew up around all the dark rooms with enlargers, huge amounts of glass negatives, and cameras. For me, it represented a Wunderkammer, or cabinet of curiosity, one of the sublime landscape and one in our attic, both curious and very different. In front of our house, there was a constructed environment for skiing. Every summer, bulldozers moved mountains as the snow started to grow scarce in the 1980s. They installed machines that provided artificial snow. The images from our postcard business pointed to a snowy, untouched landscape, which seemed to represent a very different reality from the one I had witnessed. This early experience shaped my understanding of how our perception differs from machines of seeing. If we look at science or progress, it's intertwined with apparatuses that help us to focus on the small things close up or the far things, or the faraway things, on Earth or up in the sky. For me, it's a critical engagement, how those machines have shaped our lives, be it through the media creating narratives around constructed environments or things we cannot see or bother to. After Nature was a collaborative effort between myself and a scientist from MIT Media Lab, a robotics developer in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Dr. Wendelin Weingarter, who works with environmental sensors. Together we built a playful experimental greenhouse in a geodesic dome placed within a Baroque garden as a showcase for museum visitors to witness a process from which we are increasingly detached and removed, and yet it is a critical part of our survival. It also pointed to our history of gardening and controlling nature. The project played with witnessing via machines, recording images and events, like a time lapse of plants growing over the span of a season, and sensors that record the very low power that is used to bring water into the leaves of the plants. Staging Nature was a series I produced while joining a series of scientific expeditions. I used high-powered cinematic lighting to illuminate the photograph icebergs in Ilulissat, Greenland, and the tabletop mountains in Venezuela. The end result was a sublime image, one more detailed than would be seen with the naked eye. I joined a scientific exploration of a cave system housed on top of one of those tabletop mountains. They represented one of the oldest geodesic structures on the planet, and what we were searching for were millions of year-old bacteria, the basic building blocks of life that may one day help us to understand how life came to this planet. The images that I created for the scientists reminded me of images of the caves of Lascaux. It's where culture has survived over 30,000 years. Language, music, it has all disappeared, but those amazing cave drawings are still there for us to witness. Pioneer Works and New York Aquarium in Coney Island have also invited me to be part of a residency program where I will be collaborating with the scientists at the New York Aquarium. One of the pieces I produced with the help of a marine biologist in 2010 has stirred up quite a bit of conversation. It's a human skull in a saltwater aquarium in which I've implanted live corals. As the skull begins to dissolve due to the saltwater environment, the coral feed on the calcium and produce a reef. The skull over time will dissipate and a colorful coral reef will flourish in its place. It is a naturally occurring process, artificially induced and contained within a box. But it's also an analogy of our own trouble with rising sea levels and unprecedented pollution. The skull, which is depicted in artworks as a reminder of death, is resurrected through the coral reef as a biological agent to provide the ingredients for the growth of other life forms. Witnessing via machines has been essential to my work, and I express this through many different forms of media. Some of them are photos, videos, or virtual currency like 3D renderings, 3D printing, and now holographic work with Media Labs here in New York. Nikola Tesla, another figure that embodies the mystical scientist image, has inspired me to do another collaboration with a scientist and computer software developer who helped me build a Tesla coil. The staging of artificial lightning in a museum institution is another way of conveying our natural processes and how science and machines can recreate them. I believe that the witnessing and participating in an experience rather than looking at representations is the future of our museums. CERN as the ultimate device of seeing the unseen, as a cave of producing hypothetical realities, is like the dreams of a world that is elusive to our perception. My art and research, my work with universities in collaboration with scientists in their many respective fields, has for 20 years been looking to see the unseen and understand the dilemma that is born of our research for man's primordial origins and the nature of all things. My artwork makes those processes alive, visible, touchable, and relatable in order to begin to establish an understanding of where we come from and why we exist.